Over the past couple of weeks, the Baltimore Ravens have been the talk of the town in the NFL world, and rightfully so. Their defense is playing incredible football. They're arguably the best in the league. They have two massive wins under their belt against the Detroit Lions and the Seattle Seahawks. Lamar Jackson is, at this point in the season, my MVP favorite, as well as many others. And the team as a whole is just clicking on all cylinders. It's a well oiled machine that is absolutely wreaking havoc across the league. But there's one player in particular that's not getting as much attention as he used to, and that's Pat Ricard. Pat Ricard has been one of the most well known fullbacks in the league, but I hardly see anybody talk about him anymore, and it's truly tragic because this season he did something incredibly impressive. He cemented himself in an offense ran by an offensive coordinator in Todd Monken who doesn't use fullbacks. Yet, despite this, Pat Ricard is still a staple of the Ravens offense. So in this video, we're going to take a look at his performance against the Seattle Seahawks in particular and talk about why exactly Todd Monken's making it a point to keep him on the field. But before we do that, please make sure to leave a like down below as it helps out a ton, shows your support, shows you care, all that good stuff, and I really appreciate it. And also make sure to subscribe for weekly NFL content and more specifically the best fullback content you're going to find on the platform. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the film and talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Project Pat. Quick disclaimer before we jump into this, some of these clips are going to be a little choppy, which shouldn't be the end of the world because I pause and highlight things anyways. It's not a lot of just letting the videos play out, but I figured I should point that out before we jump into it. My computer's having problems. We're going to get them sorted out, but my hands are kind of tied right now and I got to get this video out, so it is what it is. All right, so our first play here, you can see we've got Ricard lined up as a tight end, and this one's pretty light, nothing too crazy, but I feel like it's a good way to kind of ease into talking about Pat Ricard. So we all know he's a very special fullback, right? Used to be a defensive tackle, weighs over 300 pounds. And it's really interesting to me how even, in his early 30s, he can still pull across the line of scrimmage and make a key block for the offense, which is exactly what we're going to see here. So you see Lamar motions him across the line. Going to snap it as he's motioning here, and Ricard's just got to pick up this edge. And what's going to happen is when Ricard picks up this edge, Patrick McCarry here can pick up his block on Bobby Wagner. It's going to open up a lane right here for Justice Hill to run through, and that is precisely what's going to happen. You're going to see Ricard's going to break down, get his hands into the chest of the defensive end here, and just make sure he can't get around him, and more specifically, get inside of him. And because he's able to set his feet right here, Ricard, obviously being 300 pounds, has an incredible anchor. Because he's able to set his feet right here, even though Bobby Wagner's kind of getting underneath of Macari here, because Ricard is so big and because he's so strong, he's able to ensure that Bobby Wagner can't just like break through here. You can see Macari can kind of push him into Ricard here, which is what's happening, and that's going to allow Hill to bounce this into this hole. Not a huge gain, but the work here from 65 and 42 is fantastic. Just once again, kind of run it back slowly. Ricard doesn't have to do anything too crazy for his block, just has to get in the way of this guy and make sure he hits this inside shoulder to ensure that he can't cut inside, cut over top, get in between Ricard and Macari. And again, because of how big he is, he's able to block off Bobby Wagner and just set up a solid, like, 4 or 5, maybe 6, 7 yard run. I don't know. It wasn't a first down run, but it was a solid gain. And of course, Ricard, as every good fullback does, is the first guy there to help up his running back. And that's something we're going to see a lot of. And I will tell you right now, I will point it out every single time because I love this shit. I eat it up. It's corny. Don't care. This is good teammate 101, good fullback 101. Always be the first guy there to help up your running back because your job is to keep him clean. Your job is to make sure he can get all the glory, do all the sexy stuff. So when he's down, you got to be there to pick him up as well. And Ricard is always that guy for whoever the Ravens are running the ball with. So this one is a really good heads up play by Ricard. I really like how aware he is of his surroundings here. And I'll just go ahead and hit play here. I'm not going to try to explain too much before the play starts. We've got Ricard lined up at tight end. They're going to motion a receiver across the line of scrimmage. And it's a Lamar Jackson read option with Ricard as the lead blocker. Now, The key here is you can see Ricard is locked into Jordan Brooks, which is what he's supposed to do. That's the free guy here. This is who he needs to pick up. Brooks has his eyes on Lamar. He is not paying a lick of attention to the 300 and whatever pound behemoth sitting over here to his side. And Ricard takes full advantage of that and ends up doing something I think is great, which is puts himself in position to have his back facing Lamar when he engages with Brooks. A lot of guys, they'll try to take on this linebacker head on and then turn their bodies. And, for a lot of fullbacks, it works. They're strong enough to do it. Ricard would certainly be strong enough to do it, but he knows it's going to exert more force than he needs to. So instead, because Brooks isn't looking, he puts himself in prime position where his back is to Lamar, which is exactly where you want to be as a lead blocking fullback. You always want your back to be where the lane is, because if not, obviously your guy can kind of shed his block a lot easier, just turn around and grab the ball carrier. Self-explanatory there. But Ricard does a good job of setting up a wide base, getting this block on Brooks, and I'm really impressed by the eye discipline from Ricard on this play. If you've watched my other videos breaking down other positions, specifically, like Justin Matabike, for example, eye discipline's a big thing for me. And I love the eye discipline from Ricard, where he's not just watching the guy he's engaged with. His eyes are up, and he's waiting for someone else to come along. You can see Bobby Wagner kind of comes free here. And Ricard does a great job of kind of spreading his weight and distributing his attention. And he ends up pushing Bobby Wagner out of the play here, kind of messes up his trajectory. Doesn't seem like a huge thing, but with how quick Lamar is, if he didn't get tackled right here because, the two defenders from the other side of this play collapsed on him, if Lamar was still a free runner like right here, he's quick and agile enough to kind of take advantage of this push from Ricard, where he's pushing Wagner out of his original pursuit angle, obviously, to, kind of make a move, juke him out, do whatever. And he could, cut through right here and end up picking up extra yards. That was a good heads-up play by Ricard. It doesn't end up mattering, but that's one of those things that, the coaches are going to look at in the film room and be like, hey, Pat, good shit. I'm sure there's a lot of that happening in the film room, a lot of good shit towards Pat, but I really like the heads-up and high football IQ, high awareness that we're seeing here from Pat Ricard on this play. It's just really good fullbacking, to be totally honest with you. Here we go. We're on the goal line. Ravens are trying to punch one in for a touchdown. We're sitting in 13 personnel with Ricard lined up at tight end. And honestly, with the way they lined up their tight ends, you've got Ricard here, you've got Mark Andrews out here, and I want to say this is Charlie Kolar, but I could be wrong. We'll find out here in a second. It almost feels like they're just having Ricard line up as like an extra tackle, which, fair. He weighs 300 plus pounds. He's massive. He blocks like a truck. Sure. But this is one of those plays, I'm just going to spoil it for you right away. You see a guy say, hey, get big. I'm bigger than you. I'm badder than you. Deal with it. And that's what's going to happen between Ricard and number 52 here. I want to say that's Darrell Taylor. But anyways, once this ball is snapped, you're going to see Ricard fires off the ball. For someone that big, he fires off the ball. And this is the key right here. You can't really see it because it's a white jersey, but Ricard gets his hand on the outside, on the back of Darrell Taylor here. Taylor was trying to slant inside, which makes this even better. Ricard gets that built-in momentum of Taylor being out of sorts, out of position is the word we're looking for here. So Ricard's going to get his hand on the back here and just start driving. Ricard's got those big, powerful legs. He gets a little bit of help here from Patrick McCarry. And you can see, this will be a lot better if this tight end didn't kind of whiff here on this block. But anyways, the lane here for Gus Edwards is right here. Obviously, just roll out the red carpet right here. And if this tight end holds this block on Bobby Wagner, this would be perfect, textbook, doesn't get touched, give your lineman Rolex after the game type of blocking right here. But Ricard does his job. That's what we're worried about. Bobby Wagner can't get to Gus. And once this plays here, we're having some computer difficulties for a second. Bear with me here for a moment. Yeah, there we go. So Ricard just keeps driving 52. He absolutely manhandles him. And Ricard's feeling himself, man. He's excited. He's pumped up for his boy. That's how you want your fullback to react to a big time block and a big touchdown. I mean, this, again, doesn't seem like anything crazy, but I don't know. I love the way he's able to get in here and manhandle this defensive end, the way he's able to take advantage of the guy slanting inside, kind of carry that momentum with him. This is just textbook. It's absolutely textbook. And again, as I mentioned earlier, Ricard does a great job of the hand placement, and also see the back is to the running back, just all around perfect. And come on, he's feeling himself. He's having a good day. We'll run it from the other angle here while I talk for a second. This is very much one of those blocks, like I said, where, I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm badder than you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And Ricard being bigger, badder, and better than everybody else, this is something we see quite a bit from the old man. Maybe not as often anymore, but this is prime. This right here, this is a good way to put it. This is vintage Pat Ricard right here, and I am so here for it. This one right here, another great motion block from Ricard. Or I'm sorry, this one doesn't happen in motion. He starts moving after the ball is snapped. But he is going to come across the line of scrimmage. We're going to open up a lane for Keaton Mitchell, who had himself a game against Seattle. So you can see Ricard's getting out there. He's moving. They're trying to build a lane right through here. So Ricard's going to have to pick up number 56, Jordan Brooks here. He's going to do a beautiful job of that. You see Brooks goes low. Ricard can't quite go lower, but he can just tower over him, kind of absorb him. Ricard does a good job of absorbing him and kind of standing him back up. And again, you can see back to the ball carrier. Perfect stuff right there. The hand placement's good. He's not holding. He's driving him out of the play. He's pushing him out of the way. Opens up this hole for Mitchell. Get a nice gain there. Nothing too flashy, but you got to throw a Keaton Mitchell run or two in there because that's what they're caring about from this game, right? Keaton Mitchell was the big highlight of the game. So we're going to show, hey, Ricard helped him out. This is textbook stuff right there. And you play through the whistle. He pushes him way out of the play. Kind of carries that momentum with him of Jordan Brooks trying to go low. Just, again, I can't say it enough. Beautiful, beautiful stuff right here. This is textbook, coming across the line of scrimmage and kind of opening up that lane. You just love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. We'll watch it from the other angle because, why not? More Pat Ricard. It never hurt anybody. Fantastic stuff right there. All right, this type of block right here isn't the prettiest thing in the world, and it's not something that people really point at as a good block, but it is, right? This is the type of block that doesn't get talked about a lot, doesn't get a lot of praise, because it's not someone manhandling somebody else. It's not perfect technique. This is simply an example of getting in somebody's way. And sometimes that's all it takes to set up a good block. So you're going to see here Lamar calls Pat Ricard across the line of scrimmage right here. They're going to snap it as he motions across. You can see Boye Mafe is our target here. They're going to run a bit of a read option, fake handoff, whatever. And Lamar's going to try to bring this outside. Pat Ricard just has to stop Mafe from blowing this play up in the backfield. Now, instead of getting his hands up, doing a, super fundamental block or just blowing him up, Ricard's going to go low. You can see right here. And he gets Mafe off balance, destroys his momentum, and now Mafe's caught with his leg up in the air as Lamar Jackson's running by him. And that is exactly what they needed. This ends up with Lamar being able to take off. Mafe's able to redirect himself, but it's too little too late. Lamar's going to be able to take this for a big run. And that big run right there is not possible if this goofy son of a bitch wearing number 42 wasn't able to completely kill Mafe's momentum with such a simple and, not glorious block. Just getting in the way of somebody, killing their momentum, stopping them from what they need to do. I can't get enough of this. I apologize if you're sick of me replaying it already, but my goodness. Just beautiful stuff right there, and it sets up a big Lamar run, so can't go wrong with it. Now, shout out to Mafe for keeping with it. He ends up near Lamar at the end of the play. We'll watch it from the other angle, but, Ricard set this run up pretty nicely. All right, here we go. Quick little goal line touchdown run. We've got Ricard lined up once again as the first tight end in a 3 tight end set. We're going to see him take on Draymond Jones one-on-one here and set a very, very key block. So you're going to see right away, Draymond Jones gets a good bit of push on Ricard. He gets low, gets his shoulder into Ricard's chest, and drives him backwards as the ball snapped. He's just quicker off the ball than Ricard, right? But Ricard does a good job of keeping his anchor, driving his feet. You saw him do those little steps there, get his little steps in, and that allows him to get Jones upright, kind of take advantage of the situation, get him a little bit off balance. He's able to manhandle him. Gus Edwards is going to end up running into Ricard, and Ricard's going to do a good job of kind of shifting Draymond Jones, away. Now, it does result in Ricard being on his ass, but who cares? Scored a touchdown, set a pretty crucial block. Again, I'm really impressed with the persistence, the dedication, and the recovery ability here from Ricard. Now, I will say, does get a little help from Gus Edwards here. Gus Edwards kind of hitting him right here, shoulder to back, allows him to kind of carry that momentum with him. But hey, this is how you play. This is how you drive through a block, you finish a block, you play your ass off here. I want to look at this from the other angle real quick. I almost forgot I had that saved here. So once we get in here, again, Ricard one-on-one with Draymond Jones. And Ricard does a good job, man. I mean, he holds his own this entire time. The hand placement's good. He just overpowers Jones completely. And because, a little subtlety there, because Ricard is able to move himself back inside, Draymond Jones gets a hand on the ball carrier, but not nearly enough to make the tackle, not enough to do anything too crazy. Just a good job of recovering from a disadvantageous position, disadvantageous situation. It's veteran stuff right there, man. It's just veteran stuff right there. Good overall fullbacking. Gotta love to see it. All right, so we've got Ricard lined up at tight end here, and this is going to be another run play, and they're actually going to run it away from Ricard. But I'm very obsessed with the technical ability shown off by Ricard here. This is like textbook blocking away from the run, right? So once this ball is snapped, you'll see here, Gus Edwards is going to take to the left side. We've got Ricard on the right, once again taking on Darrell Taylor. So he does a good job of getting that first step in, stepping inside, and preventing Taylor from being able to get over top of him, from getting inside of him, because he's blocking away from the play. But if he doesn't get here as quickly as he does, if he doesn't set himself up by attacking the inside shoulder of Taylor, if he hits like right here, for example, then Taylor can go over top of him and still blow this run up, right? So Ricard, what he's doing here does matter. It's not the direction they're taking the ball. Doesn't matter. So Ricard's got his hands wide. Usually you don't want to do that, but it's good for this specific play. And honestly, if this linebacker wasn't here, Gus Edwards could have bounced this in between Ricard and Macari. And you can see Ricard, he's got his hands off the lineman. I paused it at a bad time. The reason he's doing that is because he's resetting his hands. He gets his hands inside, kind of a little foreshadowing there. He takes his hands from being too wide when he was establishing his base, establishing his block. He gets his hands inside, turns his back to where the ball carrier would be able to go through. So the lane opens up here, which fantastic job here, parting the Red Sea for Gus Edwards. Look at the size of that hole. But there would have been potential for a bounce back lane, or a cutback lane, right here, with how good Ricard's blocking, if not for the linebacker right here. Now, obviously, that's probably not the play design. I would guarantee that's not the play design with how big this hole is. I would imagine the goal here is for this. I think this is the center here. I want to say it's the center. He has to block downward, get this linebacker in this area. Whatever. Ricard's still doing a damn good job of keeping his guy from getting, into the backfield, blowing up the play before it even gets going. And the other reason I wanted to show this play off, because this isn't just any run. This was the angry run. I mean, look at that effort and that intensity from Gus Edwards right there. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And none of that is possible. Kyle Brandt's angry run of the week is not possible if not for Pat Ricard setting this really nice block on the backside of the play. Oh, I guess I should probably point out, too, totally glimpsed over this. It's really important because Gus Edwards has to bring this ball across and then bounce it back. So Ricard's block becomes even more important when you take that into account, because if Ricard whiffs here, this play's dead. This play is dead right here, if not sooner. So Ricard does an awesome job. His block, I was highlighting this as a, block away from the play, blocking away from where the run's going. This is one of the most pivotal blocks on the play. It's really important they pick up this backside edge here. I apologize for kind of getting that wrong. It was a good way to get it wrong. It makes my point more valid that Ricard had a good game, but I really love the resetting the hands here, going from that wide angle as he got out of his stance to, getting himself more comfortable, getting inside the chest of the defender, which is what you want to do, obviously, as a blocker. Good showcase, of his prowess as a just powerful, big, fundamental blocker right there. And then, of course, just one more time. Let Gus the Bus go to work. Beautiful run right there. Beautiful stuff all around. Hats off to not only Ricard, but the entire offensive line in Baltimore for this play. This was a hell of a run. Since we just talked about the play, I wanted to throw this in here. The Ravens put out a little video of Pat Ricard giving Gus Edwards the angry run scepter, and I thought this was fitting and kind of funny, so I wanted to throw this in here for you guys to watch.
As a former Angry Run winner of the week, it is my honor to present to you Week 9's Angry Runner of the Week, Gus Edwards.
Thank you, Kyle Brandt, for selecting me as Week 9 Angry Runner, and thank you to my O-line. And Pat.
And Pat. And Project Pat.
All right, this play right here is bittersweet for two reasons. Number one, this is the penultimate play for this video, meaning we're almost done talking about the glorious Project Pat. But on top of that, this is the only play in this Seahawks game where Pat Ricard lined up in the backfield. And he didn't even get to play out of 21 personnel. He's the only back there. It's heartbreaking. Also, I want to take a moment to acknowledge, look at this formation. You've got two tight ends, the fullback, and 6 offensive linemen lined up. And all of the offensive linemen are lined up pretty much on the right side. This is glorious. And I think some of the beauty of this play comes from, this ball's going to the right side. You know that. You're fully aware of that. But the Ravens say, you know what? We don't care. We're going to pull it off anyways, because no one is bigger or badder than our guys up front, especially our fullback. So you can see number 66 is going to have to kick in here and pick up Bobby Wagner, which is going to leave Ricard to pick up number 57 here, and Lamar is going to want to kick through here. Ricard does a good job of getting low. 57 tries to go lower, so Ricard says, okay, I'm just going to hop up on your back. And that's perfectly legal, by the way. Nothing illegal about that block. And they pick up the first down. Pat Ricard's letting them know, we're moving the chains. Good stuff right there. It's just a fun play. Just a real fun play. And again, Pat Ricard, I skipped away from it. We'll come back to it. He's the first guy there to help up Lamar. But this is just, like I said, a really fun play. Just really fun. I love the formation. I love the excitement from Ricard picking up the first down. I love Ricard being the first guy to help up Lamar, obviously. Everything about this is just great. Watching Ricard jump on a defender's back is awesome. Just 10 out of 10, chef's kiss. Line up Ricard in the backfield more, please. I'm begging you. I love that Todd Monken's still giving him snaps, but him playing as a tight end is kind of hurting my heart. He's still listed as a fullback, though. And I guess at the end of the day, that's what matters most. But still, more 21 personnel, please. I'm begging you. This is not a want. It's a need. I am in need of more 21 personnel in Baltimore. All right, I'm going to stop rambling now. Let's go ahead and jump into the last play. And finally, here we've got our man of the hour. We've got the media's man of the hour, Pat Ricard, Keaton Mitchell. Let's pick up a first down. So once this ball is snapped, you're going to see Ricard come across the line of scrimmage. And I want to point out first and foremost, a good job here by Jordan Brooks at number 57. Good eye discipline there. Bobby Wagner, too. He ends up coming in and playing a little bit later. But good job by these guys kind of not quite blowing this up, but being in the right place at the right time. which forces these guys to come in a little, not slower, but in a different angle that changes their speed that they're able to move at, which means that Keaton Mitchell has to kind of use Pat Ricard as a meat shield, which is hilarious. You can see his hand is on Ricard. Maybe it's not right this second, but it ends up on Ricard. And he's like, all right, big fella, lead the way. Take me to the promised land. He's like, all right, I got you. I got you. So Ricard's going to get low. He's going to put his shoulder into Jordan Brooks and drive him out of this play. And that's going to allow Keaton Mitchell to kind of bounce this up through this gap. You can see he uses Ricard to shift his momentum, which is really funny. If we can rewind it a little bit, see if I can't pause it at a better moment. I can't. But there's a point where he puts his hand on Ricard's back and uses Ricard's massive frame as like, a stabilizer for him. And he uses Ricard to bounce this run back inside and is able to pick up a couple extra yards here. But I don't know. There's just something magical about a fullback and a running back getting a little close, and the running back kind of using that fullback as a meat shield. We don't see it too much anymore, but back in the day, this used to be something that's pretty common, and I love it. There you go, right there. You can't see it, but I can assure you his hand is on Ricard's lower back. Pause. His hand is on Ricard's lower back, and he uses that to shift his momentum, bounce this inside, and it works well for him. I mean, he gets more yards than he probably should have. This is a good combined effort from Mitchell, from Ricard, and from everybody else involved. We're going to play it one last time because this is our last play. Just good stuff all around. You love to see it. Shout out to Keaton Mitchell, man. He had a hell of a game. Shout out to Pat Ricard. Beautiful stuff here from Baltimore. Best team in football right now. You love to see it. But anyways, folks, that's going to do it for this video. Pat Ricard of the Baltimore Ravens still kicking ass and taking names despite the hurdle he had to overcome with Todd Monken's offense, not really using fullbacks, let alone 300-plus pound fullbacks. He's just that guy. At the end of the day, that's what matters. Pat Ricard is that guy. He's still kicking ass. You gotta love to see it. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please make sure to leave a like down below, as it helps out the channel a ton, shows your support, shows you care, all that good stuff. And also make sure to leave a comment down below telling me what your thoughts were on this video, what types of players I should look into in the future. Obviously, we're doing weekly film reviews. And also, let me know what your favorite fullback nickname is. For me, toss-up, I gotta go with either Henry Hynoski, the Hinoceros, or Mike Allstott, the A-Train. Both absolutely legendary nicknames. There's plenty of great fullback nicknames out there, so like I said, let me know down in the comments what your favorite is. With all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and to everyone out there watching, I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it, because you're all wonderful people, and you deserve it.